Welcome to Unruly 3, father of 3 unruly kids.
I'm not Rory.
I tried cutting this with the bandsaw, and it was just having a terrible time. Ever since I got this bandsaw, it's 1.5 horsepower, and it just never seems to have any power. My father-in-law has a 3/4 horsepower jet bandsaw that cuts twice as thick of things as what I cut. And so the other day we were looking at it, and I got this bandsaw off of Craigslist, and we noticed that the plug on it is definitely 110, but we pulled out the wiring on it and we found that it was wired for 220. So we rewired it back to 110, and now it's running on full power, and it made a huge difference. So that was really nice. It's almost like getting a brand new bandsaw. Speaking of getting something brand new, notice the guy down below. That guy is named Barry Blue Jeans. I don't know if you're a fan of the Adventure Zone podcast, you would know the name Barry Blue Jeans. But my daughter Taylor is a big fan of the Adventure Zone. She's read the books and listened to the podcast. And our other dog is Buster Brown, we call him. So this one we kind of wanted a name that was kind of silly, so we call him Barry, but his full name is Barry Blue Jeans. And of course my younger kids, my boy who is 6, he thinks that's the funniest thing in the world, and my 3-year-old loves telling people that his name is Barry Blue Jeans when we take him for a walk. So this figured maple that I got here, I was driving past the fairgrounds about 4 months ago, and I saw these people walking by carrying big, huge chunks of wood, like all different kinds of wood, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I stopped one of them and I asked him, and he says, oh, right up there, some local wood turner had passed away, and they were just selling everything out of his garage. The local wood turners guild, or whatever they call it, had gotten together, loaded up all of his wood for his widow, and brought it to the fairgrounds to sell all the pieces. And so I was really late getting to the party, but I found this old piece of wood that looked pretty beat up. It had some cracks in it and everything, and I got this for relatively cheap, so I was really excited to get this. On the outside you could see some of the figure, but once I got into it, that's when it started to show a lot better. So here I'm getting down to the bottom, and I'm going to try actually making like a lip around the outside for this bowl to sit on. I've never tried doing this on the bottom of a bowl. And if you notice, I'm actually trying to use my traditional tools a little bit more instead of my carbide tools all the way. So I did try using those some more. I know some of you are going to be happy about that. Now when I put this in, I used big huge wood screws, and half of the wood screws kept breaking when I kept putting this in. So I ended up changing and going with some different types of screws when I mounted my faceplate on this, but I do have some broken screws in here, so I'm going to have to go down around the outside of this, try to work my way in to break this off because I couldn't get those screws out. So I'm using all kinds of different tools. I'm using my traditional ones, my carbide ones, and I'm just trying to get the inside hollowed out here so I can get down below where that screw is. Screws, there was multiple ones. So I had said before that we were watching different movies with my daughter. She's 17 now, and we've been watching different movies from the 80s. So the latest one that we watched was, we went with Days of Thunder, and so now she knows that Rubbin' is racing, and so she liked that one. I think she liked it. She seemed to like it. At least she wasn't on her phone the whole time, which is a small little victory. So here we're getting down to where this is almost going to come off, and I had it going pretty slow, about 300 RPMs, and she didn't go flying across the room like the last time that I did something like that. Here it is close up. Just barely popped off, which was nice. Right, and look, I'm using my bull gouge. And I'm back to my carbide tool. So the next movie I think I'm going to have my daughter watch, I've kind of rounded it down to 2 different ones, where I'm thinking either like Fight Club would be a really good one, and Uncle Buck would probably be a really good one. We haven't seen that one in a really long time. Well, I haven't seen it. And that was always a really good, funny one. John Candy's classic. I'm sure she's already, well, maybe I better ask her if she's seen like 16 Candles, and make sure she's seen Breakfast Club. Those are good ones too. So here I'm trying to check up how deep I am. I've gotten down to the funnel club a couple times, and I didn't want to try it again. Once you become a member, you don't want to keep paying your dues. So here I'm just using a scraper, going around the edge, just trying to get rid of some of my tool marks. Alright, so now I'm just taking my scraper, I'm just trying to just make these super thin shavings going around the rim of this. Just trying to get rid of any final tool marks that I might have. Then I sanded it down the inside, going through all the grits, just trying to clean up any tear out. There was a lot of tear out because this grain was going all directions. Now, because there were some cracks, I'm going to try to epoxy them. So we decided on going with some copper color epoxy. And let's get some finish on this guy after we sanded it down. So again, I'm using the Deft Clear Wood finish. This is the semi-gloss. So my first coat I put on pretty thin so that it wouldn't run down. And this wood really absorbed it up, the first coat, just really sucked it up. But the difference between the sapwood on the outside and the heartwood from that trunk or that branch coming out was pretty amazing on this bowl. So I put quite a few coats of this on there, let it dry, ran it over with a $1 bill, took off the nubs, put on about 5 more coats, did the same thing, and then 2 more coats at the end to get a nice smooth, pretty clear finish here. So there it is on my brand new workbench that I finished up in my last couple builds. Look at that grain, how it looks like it's just like almost dripping down. Thank you so much for watching. If you think I earned it, please give me a like, and if you want to see more, give me a subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot.